He's getting older.
He's got AIDS.
Oh, hit the volume.
But not wiser.
King of the world, baby. King of the world.
This is the Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be with you here today, the 2nd of July in the year of our spaghetti monster, 2014. Welcome one, welcome all to the Lefty Show, episode number 48. We got a lot to talk about today, a lot of great stuff on the docket for you and yours. First of all, the propers. Thank you to everybody that's been watching, liking, favoriting, and subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show in its YouTube formation. You can also find gaming content and vlogs, everything there. YouTube.com/LeftyOX. You can also follow me on Twitter at Lefty643. That's twitter.com/Lefty643. Stay up to date on all the latest and greatest Lefty news, as well as my musings throughout the weeks, things that are pissing me off before I get to the show, and you want to bring something to my attention, that's where you can do it, at Lefty643. So go ahead and follow me there. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing the show. I thank you all for finding a friend and sharing it and sharing the show and saying, hey, check this out, which is much easier to do now because we have an RSS feed for your mobile devices. Go to leftyshow.podbean.com. That's leftyshow.podbean.com if you want to subscribe to the RSS feed manually. You can also search The Lefty Show on your favorite Android podcasting app of choice, or go to the iTunes store and search The Lefty Show there. You will for certain find us there, and you can subscribe to the RSS feed or subscribe to the feed there, and be sure to leave a rating if you please. Helps us out. The feed has actually been doing really well. Completely surpassing my expectations in terms of mobile viewership, in terms of how popular the RSS feed is, and it's doing nothing but trending upwards. And I have all of you to thank for that, and I'm very appreciative. It's really cool to look at the stats and look at the breakdowns. And there's a lot of Android people out there. I thought it's about 49%, I believe, iOS, but about 30% Android of the total viewership so far of the RSS feed. So you got an Android, and you can find us. Find your podcasting app and search The Lefty Show. And of course, if you're on iTunes, search The Lefty Show as well. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions is where you can go to donate to the show. If you want to help out, help keep us afloat, just go to I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. PayPal, credit cards accepted if you want to make a donation. Greatly appreciated and graciously accepted. There have been storms, some pretty bad storms in and around Chicago the last couple days, and I don't know if it was some kind of software update, firmware update, operating system update on my phone, but all of a sudden I found myself getting emergency alerts via text message on my phone, and I remember turning it off. At least I thought I had turned all that crap off, and I have just spent about 20 to 30 minutes trying to figure out, again, how to turn off emergency alerts, Amber Alerts, and all that stuff on my phone. And thankfully, it's not as much of a faux pas as I believed it was, because there's articles on CNET and all over the place for people that just don't want notifications popping up for things that they have no interest in hearing about. But I know I'm going to catch a little flack for it, and I want to get out in front of that because I'm not obligated to care about emergency weather alerts. And the next big step of that is I'm not obligated to care about abducted children. I'm not obligated to care. I'm not. Okay? Can we all accept that now? I'm not obligated to care. Neither are you. Neither are you. I'm not obligated to care if it's your kids. You are not obligated to care if they are my kids. I hope I don't have any kids. If my kids are getting abducted, I've got a problem right now. If all of a sudden I find out your children were abducted, I say, what children? They say, well, you have children. I say, what the fuck? Where did I have children? Mother of God. Alcohol's a hell of a thing. But when I go through these things, and the reason I had to spend 20 minutes is because it is made to be such a pain in the ass to turn this crap off. It's very clear that the option to turn off emergency alerts, to turn off Amber Alerts, is very much hidden through layers and layers of menus and whatnot in your phone. It's meant to not be turned off, or you are meant to, at the very least, be dissuaded from turning off these things. And I have a kind of a problem with that because, you know, okay, Android developers or whoever, you know, I think Samsung has their own kind of version of an Android operating system. I think they're all named after like candies, like Kit Kat and Jelly Bean or whatever. It's really, oh my God, it's cute, Jelly Bean and Kit Kat. And I understand that you write that in there, but make it easier for me, the customer, the owner, to turn that shit off because I don't want it. I don't want it. And the very fact that you write your code so that it defaults to on, it's just fuck you. That is showing, why would you show me that contempt right off the bat? Say, fuck you, you're getting things you don't want or you may not want. We don't know if you want them, but you're going to get them. And good luck trying to find out how to turn them off. We're Samsung. And our Android developers say that you need to hear about kidnapped children. I don't want to hear about kidnapped children. Not my problem. And yes, it's okay for me to say I don't fucking care. It's okay. I'm not going to be dissuaded from the notion that I am not obligated to care about abducted children. Possibly dead. Yeah, they may die. I may even see the car. I may even see it. I may even see it, and were I to read the text message or the Amber Alert on the highway, I may be able to identify the car and notify the proper authorities. Not my fucking problem. Not my business. It's not my obligation. I don't want these things. And again, I know I'm going to catch flack for this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I want to give the people out there, I know there's a few of you, where you have that in your head too. You're like, I don't fucking want this. I don't care. I don't care about these kids. I don't care. It's sad. Sure. Of course it's sad. Of course it's sad that children get abducted and possibly might or will die. Of course. But it's not my obligation. I have so many things going on in my life that I choose to care about and I choose to ride the emotional roller coaster with. I don't need shit coming in from the outside. My life is enough of an emotional roller coaster worrying about this or that. I choose to involve myself emotionally with these things, with these people, with these entities, and I don't need some asshole coder at Samsung or Apple deciding for me that I need to also hear about abducted children and that I should also feel obligated or feel pressured into trying to join the search in some way. No. I get to choose for myself what I am emotionally involved in. And I don't want to be emotionally involved in abducted kids because they're not my kids. And it's not my problem. And I'm not going to be pressured. And I'm not going to have my life interrupted by something completely that I had absolutely nothing to do with. And I want to be able to turn that off immediately. And the very fact that I can't opt into it, rather I have to opt out of it, is a problem. Because we as society have said, yes, and when I say we as a society have said, I mean by our acceptance, by our acquiescence to all of these things, by us not collectively raising our hand and saying, excuse me. Hi, Samsung guy. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Working really hard there on your Android operating system. I get it. Yeah, you went to school for that, huh? You're really good at your job, I bet, huh? Really good. Yeah. So here's the deal. I know you work really hard. I know you do. Yeah, no. I'm not here to fire you. I'm not actually even affiliated with Samsung. I'm not here to fire you. I know you work really hard, and I know you know a lot about writing operating system code, and I know you're very familiar with the Android operating system in and of itself. I'm just here to say that, you know, I'm speaking for a lot of people. They're out in the parking lot. We can't all fit in the door. They kind of elected me to come in and speak to you. The thing is, while I'm sure you're great at your job, great at it. You're great at it. I know, dude. I know. Yeah, USC, great computer science department. I know, man. Good job. Good for you. Yeah, if you've got the parchment and you got the credentials. I know. I'm not here to question that. I'm here to question maybe you shouldn't opt me and everybody else outside into hearing about potentially dangerous, potentially unsettling, or otherwise emotionally charged things. Because hearing about abducted children, everybody's got kind of that intrinsic, oh man, we need to protect children. It's evolutionary. And when you automatically opt us in to hearing about that, you kind of take away our choice to be emotionally involved. We can't help but be now emotionally involved in these heinous crimes. And they are heinous, and I hope they do get solved. But I know, but you're just, you're opting people into things, and you're speaking for and assuming a whole lot about these people, and you're depriving them of their choice, of their free will to a certain extent. And they don't know what they're getting into when they buy your product. And all of a sudden now they're getting alerts from the president. And they don't know why. They're getting alerts about abducted children, and they don't know why. And I implore you to reconsider speaking for people and trying to make them party to things they had nothing to do with. We have weather apps, right? We don't really need weather alerts. We've got the news, right? We don't really need Amber alerts. And I think what's more, it's pretty presumptuous of you to assume that everybody wants to help. Some people just don't want to live in that world. Some people just want to choose to think that those things don't exist. And who are you to try to involve them in it? I know, so you can get back to your Android operating thing, guy, but leave us the fuck alone. From now on, do me a favor, do us a favor, leave us the fuck alone. And we haven't done that. We as a society have not done that. There has been nobody prominent enough to say, I don't want this shit. Because the answer to it, as I'm sure there are already comments on the YouTube, or you're already thinking in your head, a few of you out there, is, oh, so you're for abducted children and you want children to get abducted? The response to that is an endless appeal to emotion. Oh, so you want children to be abducted? No, I just don't. I want to be able to choose to be free from these things. Or, in this sense, I want to be able to choose to be involved in it. I don't want to have that choice made for me and then have to go through layer after layer after layer of the user interface to finally get to a place where I can opt out of things. Oh, and that presidential one I mentioned, you can't fucking opt out of it. You can't. It's impossible, at least on Android. I don't know, maybe you can unlock it somehow and actually do that. But just in terms of vanilla Android and probably vanilla iOS, you cannot disable the presidential alerts. You can disable the emergency alerts. You can disable the Amber alerts. But why would you? Because then you'll have people screaming, oh my God, you want dead children. No, I just want to be able to be free from these things. Why is what I want not matter? Why does what people want not matter? As long as you want to help out in the search for abducted children, that's great. But if you dare no, I don't want to be party to that. I don't want to have anything involved with that. Apparently that makes you an asshole. Well, wait a second. What happened to what I want? Why can't I have what I want? Why does everybody else get to decide for me what I want? I don't want to be part of Amber Alerts. I don't care about abducted children. I know that's a tough thing to say. I don't care about abducted children. I don't care. And if you push me too far, I'm going to say I hope children get abducted. I hope it. Yeah. Because if you push me too far, you push the tiger too far into the corner, the tiger's going to bite back, and then, okay, now I hope your kids get abducted. And I hope I get the chance to not give a fuck about your abducted kids. I hope, please, give me the chance for you to come crying to me and say, my children were abducted, so I could say, I don't fucking care. Please. I'm done having emotion leveraged against me because what I want matters too. I should be free from this kind of bullshit, and I should be the one it should be on everybody to opt into it instead of trying to find a way to opt out. But you can't even opt out of the presidential one. Why in the fuck does the president or anybody remotely associated with the president or the White House have a direct line to every Android and iOS phone owner in America? Why the fuck does that happen? And spare me this bullshit about, the president needs to warn you about pending No, fuck that. We have the emergency broadcast system, and that's it. These airwaves are for the good of the people. We are the people. Not the fucking president of the United States. Why does the president of the United States have a megaphone as large as every single mobile network in America? Why does Barack Obama get to say, if he wanted to, vote for me? Vote for the next Democratic candidate. If he wanted to, I'm sure that could happen. He shouldn't, that megaphone should not even fucking exist. I don't care that it's technically it's reserved for if there's an invasion or if the aliens come. Fuck that. I don't care. Let me opt out. I don't want to have to listen to whatever the president fucking says. That's kind of the basis of why this place got started. So that we have the choice to be free. And to not have the government up our ass in everything. But now the government is up your mobile device. It's in it, and you can't turn it off. But we just, okay. The president had something to say. No, fuck that. I don't care what the president has to say. Fuck him. Fuck him and anybody that looks like him. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anything. I don't care if it's supposedly for my good, supposedly so that I can seek shelter in place, whatever the fuck that means. Be sure to shelter in place. Okay. Was shelter. Be sure to shelter in place. Well, so I can't move. Do I move? I'm having a little trouble understanding your meaning here. You say shelter in place. That doesn't mean a goddamn thing to me. It means nothing. But getting back to the presidential thing, I have no choice to be free from the president's voice. And that's disconcerting to me, but apparently not to many other people. Apparently, yeah. They just accept. They say, well, yeah, of course. What's wrong with you? Why don't you want to listen to what the president has to say? And I ask, does nobody value freedom of choice anymore? Do people just is that not even a thing to them? To choose to be free, to opt out. I don't want it. Well, why don't you want to hear about Amber Alerts? Because I don't want to. I just don't. Why do I have to want Amber Alerts? Why do I have to do that? No, I do not want to. Why do I have to hear what the president has to say? I don't want to hear what the president has to say. For my good or not, doesn't matter. I don't want to hear it. And the worst part is, I can't even fucking opt out of it. It wasn't even, there's no way. How could you know? How could a reasonable person find out? Let's say you go to buy a cell phone tomorrow, brand new, right? And this is how fucked up our country is, our society, because we get into these things, and all of these things are just assumed. And they just assume that this is going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's not a goddamn thing. There's no bargaining, like I say all the time. You can't bargain for anything anymore. And there's no way you could even know about this. Tell me how tomorrow, if you know nothing about owning a cell phone, but you wake up tomorrow and you say, gee, I want one of those cell phone things that everybody has. So you go to your local Verizon store or Sprint or AT&T or whatever, and you go in, you walk in and you buy a phone. And they give you a contract or whatever it is, however they do it, and you start reading it. You start reading it over, and you read the contract. Probably after they run your credit card, which Kind of makes the terms of the contract unenforceable, but that's neither here nor there. And I want to know, in that contract, where does it say that you are agreeing to listen to whatever the president has to say? Where does it say that you are agreeing to opt in to Amber Alerts and all this stuff? Where does it say it? Where do you have an opportunity, a reasonable opportunity to find out about these terms? Because not being able to opt out of presidential alerts is a term of apparently everybody's wireless agreement with their wireless carrier, because the phone won't allow it to turn off, and I'm sure that's also network side too. So that's a term. Where's that term in the contract? And if you have a phone, go find your wireless agreement and find that line item that you agree to blah 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 and sign your name. It's probably not fucking there. I am guessing. I will bet dollars to donuts. I don't even get the significance of that colloquialism, but everybody says it, so I say it too. I will bet you dollars to donuts that it's not there. It's just assumed. And now you get your phone, right? You're back in the, I've never heard of cell phones before, but I want one. And now I have one. And now you're walking down the street and you got your cell phone. You're like, oh, yeah. And then you get an Amber Alert. And you say, what the hell is this? Who's Amber? I didn't give out my number to anything like this. Did I just walked out of the frickin' store. I walked out of the Verizon store and I've got an Amber Alert. Who's Amber? Why is she alerting me? What is this? Oh, it's a notification. Oh, all right, fuck that. I don't want to listen to that. Then there's a hurricane coming and you get a text message from Barack Obama, who's all up in your grill talking about the shelter in place, whatever the emergency alert system is for. In that regard, the president of the United States of America has your phone number and is going to call you and talk to you. They have a direct line right to you. He or she or their representatives have a direct line right to you. And you look at that and you say, I don't want this. I don't want this. Where did I agree to this? And you go back in the store and you say, where did I agree to this? Where is this in our contract? And it's not there. And they just say, well, sir, that's just how it's done. That's just the way it is. And you're supposed to accept it. You're just supposed to accept the bullshit. You're just supposed to accept whatever it is the larger party wants to do to you, seemingly whatever the government, whatever corporations like Verizon, Sprint, and their networks and all that stuff, whatever they want to do to you, you're just supposed to accept it because, well, why not? Because that's the way it is. And blah, blah, blah. Read your contract. It's not even in the fucking contract. And I say to everybody, I got into this when I was trying to explain to people about the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Or, well, at least when the Xbox One announced their digital rights management policies, which were totally draconian. And I said, well, I have to connect to the internet. How the fuck am I supposed to be able to find out if I just walk into a GameStop and try to buy an Xbox One, how am I supposed to know that I have to have an internet connection at least 24 hours, once every 24 hours, so that my thing can actually function as it's supposed to? How am I supposed to know that? And everybody told me, well, it's in the contract. It's in the end user license agreement that you agree to, You agreed to it. And that's the go-to of everybody. Well, you agreed to it, man. You agreed to all these alerts. And I say, okay, all right. Where's that contract? Where is it? Where's the end user license agreement for Xbox One? Well, it's in the box. Okay. How would I see it? Well, you'd have to open the box. Okay. When can I open the box? Well, when you take it home. Which occurs after what? Well, after you buy it. Oh, so I have implicitly agreed to all terms and conditions contained in a secret document which I cannot open up and read in store, and I have to buy it and agree to it. Otherwise, it's not mine. Otherwise, all these terms and conditions are are part of the contract, are enforceable. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to anybody that, oh, well, the terms and the end user license agreement, it's the first time you boot up the machine, it's the Xbox Live end user license agreement. Oh, okay. When do you get a chance to read that? When you boot it up. Okay, what have to have already done to get to that point? You already had to buy the fucking machine. It's yours now. But there's a contract after the purchase, offer, consideration, acceptance, contract form at GameStop. Now there's extra terms and conditions introduced when you boot up the machine. And what the fuck are you supposed to say? What are you supposed to say? If you say no, your machine is inoperable. If you say yes, you've agreed to terms and conditions introduced after the sale, after the contract was formed. What the and people are, yeah, that's the way it is. That's the way it is, man. That's how it works. No, that's not how it fucking works. It's so bad. I was buying something and it required, just a bullshit warranty agreement, whatever, right? But I was buying something and it was really funny because it was a brick and mortar retail store, and the lady gave me the price. She said, that'll be blah, 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 a couple $100 or whatever it is for this thing. And I say, okay. And I hand over payment, and then she runs the payment, and I sign for the payment, and then she starts printing out the contract, the warranty agreement. And Katie, my girlfriend, was standing right next to me, and I leaned over and I said, now the question is, are those terms and conditions voidable or void? And the answer is they're completely unenforceable. Offer consideration on my part was thinking about the price, and then I accepted by handing over payment. And only then were terms and conditions brought into it. Terms and conditions which I couldn't bargain for. And I wanted to lean over and just kind of have a moment with the saleswoman and say, I'm signing this, but these terms and conditions are completely unenforceable. Our contract was already formed when I handed payment to you. You can't just print up the terms and conditions afterwards and then say, yes, now these are party to the agreement. Our contract is done. These mean nothing. These are completely unenforceable. If I want to have this thrown out, I will if it comes to that, but it won't because it's only a couple $100. Who gives a shit? And I wanted to say that, but something tells me that I wouldn't have even it would have been a waste of air to try to even open my mouth to try to have that moment with that saleswoman to say, I don't really have to do this. These things are unenforceable, because she would look at me and say, yeah, they are. Say, well, no, they're not, because I already agreed to pay you for this thing. And only now are you printing up specific terms and conditions after the sale has completed, technically. Though these things are unenforceable. You can't hold me to anything I sign here. Similarly, I can't hold you, but it's completely one way, so I can't be held to anything in this thing. She said, what are you talking about? But nobody understands basic contract law. And I get a lot of flag because, you're not making a moral argument. Well, what the fuck? Some point you're going to be in front of a judge. Some point you're going to commit a crime, or you're going to have a contract dispute with somebody. At some point you're going to have an involvement with the legal system. And morals don't matter. In terms of who is obligated to do what, when, where, and for how much, morality does not come into play. That is a strictly legal question. So I offer up, and one of the reasons that this is the way it is in our society, this idea of what's wrong with you? Why do you want to read what you're signing? Or why do you even, how dare you even consider that what you have, quote, agreed to is not enforceable? How dare you consider that the Microsoft end user license agreement is unenforceable? You know what? And again, I love Steam. I'm a big PC player, big PC gamer. And I love Steam. The end user license agreement from Steam, completely unenforceable. Completely. If I wanted to fight Steam, if it was really a big deal to fight Steam, I would fight them. If they just started removing games from my library based on the end user license agreement, I would say, well, that's unenforceable, and I'm going to sue you for the games back and the damages, because if you go to buy a game on Steam, you are only prompted with the Steam end user license agreement after you complete the purchase, after you offer up payment and the purchase goes through. Only then do you agree, and once you try to install the games, only then are you prompted with the EULA. And what the fuck? Is it mine or is it not? Is it mine anymore, or am I just, what is this shit? But people will just say, well, you agreed to it. No, well, hold on a second. Hold on. You agreed to the Xbox Live terms and conditions. Really? When was the terms and conditions? When did that pop up? And I think that's the way it is because nobody has any really education, or not nobody, but fewer people than average, or fewer people than half have a basic understanding. Just take a business law course. That's all you got to do. You don't have to have a law degree. Fuck that. Shit's expensive. Paying like 100 G's now for a law degree. Fuck that. Take a business law course. Something. Take that, learn basic contract law, and you're good. And then you'll walk around and you'll see the world in a completely different light. And you'll walk around and I guarantee you, if you're going to college or you are in college and you can find a business law course, take it. Take it. Again, you don't have to be pre-law. You don't have to do anything like that. Just take the business law course. It's not very hard. It's, unless you're, my father is an attorney, so I'm more predisposed. My entire life has been like a law school prep course because he's a bit of an eccentric. But it's not that hard. It's very logical. There's a good bit of reading, but it's not hard reading. And it flows logically. And I implore you to take one, because if you haven't already, when you walk out of that class, even probably a couple lectures in, you're going to walk out of that class and you're going to turn on the TV, and everything you see is going to be bullshit. Everything you read in a magazine, everything you read on a website about, hey, do this, do that, sign up for this, is going to be bullshit. And you're going to go to buy something, you're going to go to agree to a contract at some retail store, and you're going to read it and go, what the fuck is this? And then you will know my pain when I say there's nothing you can fucking do about it, because your only course of action is to walk out the door. That's it. That's all you can do. Especially if it's a larger chain, that's your only option, is walking out the door. That's all you got. And that's all you'll ever have. But at least you know why you're getting fucked. And so that's what law courses have done for me. And that's what I think a business law course would do for you. But I want to go one step higher. I want to go one more level. I want that right next to a course, a mandated course in high school that teaches you basic finance, basic checkbook management, basic money management, and basic people skills. I also want something that teaches people basic contract law. Very basic stuff. If you're in high school, you can probably understand it. It's really not that complicated, and I think everybody needs to at least have exposure to that. Not necessarily that they will identify with the subject matter. Not necessarily that they'll go, oh, aha, they'll have that aha moment. Not necessarily that, but they need the chance. I think they need the chance to sponge up that knowledge. Have the knowledge exposed to them, because we've all taken classes in elementary school, junior high, high school, college, whatever, where we're just going through the motions. Who really gives a shit about this subject matter? It could be an elective, it could be this or that. You just take it and there's knowledge given to you. Despite that being an elective, there's knowledge offered up, but you've completely closed yourself off. You're just there to get the grade to help your grade point average. You don't care really about the knowledge. You're just like, whatever, okay, yeah. I'll tell, yeah, African-American studies, cool, yeah, whatever, yeah. It was really bad, I get it, okay. You never really win, you just do a little bit better each time. Or you just do a little, that you never really win, you just do a little bit better each time. Okay, yeah, whatever. There's knowledge, but you just completely close yourself off to it. Now, of course, there are people in that same course, in that same lecture hall as you, that are taking notes feverishly, and they're drinking up the knowledge, and oh my goodness, oh, yes, oh, yes. And we call those people Asians, but They did do that when I went to school. They took notes on everything. I'm like, dude, it's a fucking elective course. What are you doing? Just whatever the teacher says to you, you spit it right back out. You get an A. That's the way it works. That's the way. You don't need to really. But no. Oh yes, I take notes on this. And you can be exposed to knowledge and drink up the knowledge. And so I think just expose high school students, because I don't know, a larger percentage of high school there are a larger percentage of people that go all the way through high school in America than there are the people that go all the way through college, or that go through and exhaust every course, every course tree in college. But in high school, you take mandatory sex education, right? Well, now there's 2 extra courses that you have to take that are mandatory. And shit, in states where for some reason PE is mandatory, actually that's probably not a bad idea, but offer it up and say, here, you have to take this. These are now mandatory. You have to take basic money management and finance with a little bit of people skills in there, a little bit of workplace, not office necessarily, but just workplace interactions. And you'll teach that course. And now you're going to also take a course on basic contract law. And shit, you could put the 2 of them together. Make it a year-long course. How long do you really need for basic finance, money management, people skills, and basic contract law? Make it 1 course, and bam, there you go. Give everybody the chance to be exposed to that knowledge. Give everybody the chance to suck up that knowledge, because I want more people that will understand what I'm saying. I want more people to raise their hand and go, excuse me, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, and why am I dealing with this? Why are you making this my problem? Well, we agreed to it. No, we really didn't. I don't want people to say, oh, shit, I guess I did. No, I want people to have the balls to say, and the knowledge to back it up, to say, no, I didn't, and here's why. No, I didn't agree to have the fucking president of the United fucking States of America have a bullhorn direct to each and every citizen that's carrying Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Sprint. I didn't agree to that. I didn't agree to hear about abducted children. I didn't agree to it. Why are you making it my problem now? Because I didn't agree to it. And this is bullshit, and it's got to stop. Because right now the answer is, okay. But I want more people to go, wait a minute. Let's talk about this. Because I think that's overall better for society. Give people the knowledge. Give people the tools. Don't make them take biology. Couldn't give a fuck less about biology. Well, maybe the evolution part. Chemistry then. No, drugs. Shit. No, physics is cool. All right, so we're keeping STEM. Literature. Fuck literature. Fuck it. No, I don't care. I don't want to read the Scarlet Letter in some just ass backwards, confusing dialect of English. It's flowery for the sake of flowery language. It was dark. It was the darkest dark of night, the darkest night that had ever been, and blah 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 blah, and but for and when and whence and from whence you came and blah blah. Fuck that. No, fuck the classics. Fuck them. People just circle jerk over them, not because they're great literature, but just because they've been around for a long time. They survived the book burnings. And so now, oh shit, this thing's been around for a long time. We must enjoy it. We must enjoy the Scarlet Letter. No. Who's the guy from the... Oh, God. I gotta look this up. Holden Caulfield was a fucking douchebag. Okay? J.D. Salinger, that book meant nothing. It was absolutely fucking nothing. Didn't mean anything. It was just about a little fucking douchebag asshole, Holden Caulfield. Fucking who names their kid Holden anyway? No, we don't need kids to read about that. What they need to be reading about, or what they need to be doing, is learning basic money management, finance, and contract law, so that they can go out into the world and not get fucked. Or at least, if they get fucked, they know how badly they're getting fucked. Because I'm sick of being alone. I want more people around me to help out and help carry the torch of, oh, excuse me, I think this is bullshit. Oh, you want me to help with that? No, I don't want you to help carry anything. You and fire, it's a bad mix, I think. I don't want anything to do with you. Why can't I have the fire? Because you're cleaning things. You're cleanup. You're not demo. Oh, you and you're crazy. Get back in there. Get back into the closet. In both, ways that means. Oh, what are you talking about? I mean, just get out of here, Eugene. Get out of here. Go back to doing your thing. It's not your show. You pop in. I really need to change that lock. That really needs to be on my to-do list. Oh, you want me to make that one? No. Don't worry about it, Eugene. I'll have it. All right, let's do some news. You jerk. We got a lot to talk about today in the news. A little segment we do every show here on the Lefty Show. There was leaders in Africa have made a surprising decision. Israel and Palestine are of course at it again. The panel commissioned by President Barack Obama has surprisingly confirmed that NSA targeted surveillance of U.S. citizens is okay. There's going to be a blood database for DUI warrants in Washington, and some gun laws are getting people in trouble, and a North Carolina teen hid her pregnancy from parents. It's the Lefty Show. This is from Yahoo News, Dateline, Raleigh. A 16-year-old girl appears to have hidden her pregnancy from her parents for 9 months and given birth without their knowledge to a baby girl who was found buried in the family's backyard, the North Carolina sheriff said Tuesday. Police found the full-term baby, who weighed 8.5 pounds, buried in a subdivision in Franklin County, Sheriff Jerry Jones said Tuesday. Based on preliminary information from the state medical examiner's office, authorities believe the baby was dead when she was buried, he said. They're awaiting the final report to determine the cause of death and whether the baby was alive when she was born. The investigation began about 7:30 p.m. Sunday when someone who had overheard a conversation went to authorities, he said. The person overheard something like, so-and-so is having a baby, and she's not going to tell anyone about it, Jones said. So it would be a concealed childbirth. He didn't know if it was true or not. His remarks were that, I cannot keep this, I have to tell somebody. Investigators shortly found the family involved and went to their house where family members were shocked by the possibility that someone there had given birth. As investigators looked around the house, one saw what appeared to be a bloody towel or shirt in the teenager's bedroom, he said. We had some suspicions, but we didn't have anything else. Investigators left and discussed getting a search warrant, but the girl's father called back about 10 p.m. Sunday and said, you need to come back to our house. We found what you're looking for. He led investigators to a shallow grave in the backyard where he had uncovered enough to see the baby's head. At first, Jones was skeptical that the girl's parents wouldn't know their daughter was pregnant, he said. I didn't really agree with that when I first heard it. But the social services people said teens are very, very clever in hiding this type of stuff. There may be ways of concealment that I don't know about. How in the fuck do you conceal being a full-term pregnant 16-year-old? Carrying an 8.5 pound baby. That's an average, pretty decent size, is it not? 8.5 pounds for a newborn? That's pretty decent sized. You don't conceal that. That's beyond baggy t-shirts. That's beyond, oh shit, the holidays were kind of mean to me, what with all the scrumptious fruitcake and all. So I gotta wear some baggy t-shirts or some lumpy clothing, like some sweaters or hoodies or something, and conceal this shit. You're not concealing a full-term 8.5 pound baby in your gut unless you're so fucking fat that it is believable that that's just fat and not a baby. I know there are some women that kind of hide. It just looks like a little bump, but even then, there's a baby bump. You know what the baby bump looks like. This has got to be fat. This has got to be a fat. You are so fat at 16 that you can legitimately conceal an 8.5 pound newborn in your belly. I'm calling it right now. I'm reading into this. This has got to be just, I don't know if that's morbid obesity, but mother of God, 8.5 pounds, being able to conceal an 8.5 pound human in your belly and have other people just like, yeah, we didn't know. Because what are you doing? How do you not hide it? Like, I never see you walking around the house anymore, daughter. Yes, I know. Why is that? Why are you always concealing yourself? You never leave the room. You're always at the kitchen table before any of us, and you never get up and you never do anything. What's going on here? Either the parents are incredibly stupid or the child is incredibly fat. Now, I also having a child, and if the child's stillborn or if she killed the infant and buried it, blah 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 blah. Never mind that. I want to know why the police were investigating in the first place. Because the person overheard something like so-and-so is having a baby and she's not going to tell anyone about it, Jones said. So it would be a concealed childbirth. He didn't know if it was true or not. His remarks were that, I cannot keep this, I have to tell somebody. And you go to the authorities, and that's enough to launch an investigation of somebody. To show up at a door, knock, and say, hey, are you having a kid? Are you having... Is this Soviet Russia? Really? Because... Oh, you're having a concealed childbirth? Or no, this is communist China. Because in communist China, you cannot conceal childbirth. They will fuck your shit up if you try to like have a baby and you don't have the proper permits. If you are in communist China, not Hong Kong, communist China, and you try to have a child without the proper permits, and they find out about it, they will perform an abortion on you. They, the government, will tie you down and perform an abortion. They'll do a full-term abortion, too. Just as the baby's head crowns. Boop. They'll do that. Is that what we're going for now? Is that what we're doing? She's not telling anybody about her pregnancy. Oh, is the baby born yet? Well, no. Well, then what the fuck do you have to say about anything? Shut the fuck up. Don't go harass this 16-year-old girl, because up until the point that because I understand the idea the government has an interest in giving somebody a social security number so that they can be in the system, so that they can pay taxes. I understand that. And I understand the argument of if you try to actively conceal a human, a U.S. citizen, they're basically an illegal alien. Well, I mean, you know, they get citizenship rights just by the virtue of being born. But if you try to keep them out of the system so that they are not eligible for the draft, eligible for taxation or anything like that, the government has an interest in not allowing that. And I understand it, and it's practical to have a law that says, well, if you have a child, if you birth a child and then don't tell us about it and don't get a birth certificate and don't get the child, into the system, well, we've got something to say about that. But up until the point of birth, being pregnant is not a crime. And not telling anybody that you're pregnant is also not a fucking crime. So why is it that some dickless, spineless asshole cocksucker, I think this 16-year-old girl, I think she might have a baby and not tell anybody. And, well, she's pregnant now, so I got to go tell the police. And the police listened to that. They said, so she's pregnant now? Yes. Has she had a baby? Well, no. Oh, okay. Well, then we better start investigating her. We better go check that out. We better go see. Because at the time when the person heard about it and probably went to the authorities, the girl was still pregnant. And that was enough to assume, well, you're probably going to commit a crime, so we're going to start showing up at the door. Now, it just so happens that she did give birth and did probably try to conceal it or commit a crime. But come on. Are we again? Why? Wait. So the girl's pregnant, hasn't given birth yet, but you are freaking out and perhaps going to launch an investigation because somebody says that she might give birth and and not tell you? She might give birth to the child and not tell anybody. That's an issue we must investigate now. Oh, wow. All right. Now, in the United States, up until, I believe, 1785, concealing stillborns or concealing birth was a capital offense. Capital offense. Now, this is from the Wikipedia page. Concealing a birth is the act of a parent or other responsible person failing to report the birth of a child. The term is sometimes used to refer to hiding the birth of a child from friends or family, but is most often used when the appropriate authorities have not been informed about a stillbirth or the death of a newborn. So she can be charged with a crime if this 16-year-old girl did give birth to a stillborn baby or the baby died during childbirth and didn't tell anybody. Because if you start saying again, it's a crime to give birth without telling us about it, well then, I don't know how to, that's pretty far. That's pretty far. That's like saying you can't take a shit unless you get the proper permits, unless you notify somebody, because that shit may have biological material in it. You can't have, and furthermore, you can't have sex without notifying us, because hell, that might result in a pregnancy that you can conceal. We need to know every time you bop your wife or your girlfriend, because that might result in a pregnancy that you can then conceal. And we have an interest in that, so now we need to know whenever you're fucking. Please tell us. Please tell the government whenever you start fucking. So that's another case. Sorry to put you all down. Another case of humanity just kind of fucking all up. There's some news coming out of Palestine. Never talked really about the Palestine-Israel issue, but this is from The Guardian. A Palestinian teenager from annexed East Jerusalem has been kidnapped and killed in a suspected act of revenge for the murder of 3 Israeli youths, Armeo Radio reported. The radio said the youth was seen being forced into a car in the Arab eastern half of the city. His body was found several hours later, early on Wednesday morning, in another part of the city, the radio said, describing it as a suspected revenge attack. 3 Israeli teenagers were snatched from a road in the southern West Bank on June 12, and their bodies were found on Monday in a murder Israel has blamed on the Islamist Hamas movement. They were buried on Tuesday after a day of emotionally charged funerals. Israeli police said they were investigating reports of a kidnapping and confirmed finding a body, but refused to say whether the two incidents were connected. They did not give details on the victim's identity. Now, this is another story connected to it from The Independent. Hamas has warned, this was yesterday, July 2014. Hamas has warned Israel against waging war on the Gaza Strip in retaliation for the deaths of 3 kidnapped Israeli youths, threatening that, quote, the gates of hell will open, end quote, should action be taken. The response came after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin, oh boy, this is going to suck, Netanyahu, I'm sorry, vowed, quote, Hamas is responsible and Hamas will pay, following the discovery of the bodies of the 3 missing youths yesterday. The Israeli military struck 34 targets across the Gaza Strip overnight after more than 20 rockets were fired from the territory into Israel since late Sunday. Hamas, however, responded warning against any broad offensive on the territory. Spokesman Sami Abu Zuhri said Netanyahu should know that threats don't scare Hamas, and if he wages a war on Gaza, the gates of hell will open on him. Mr. Netanyahu said the teenagers were kidnapped and murdered in cold blood by human animals as he convened an emergency meeting of his security cabinet. By human animals! Good thing those robot animals aren't out there kidnapping teenagers. I'm glad it's just human animals. Now, I gave you both of those stories. First, I gave you the Palestinian, perhaps, well, come on, we know it was fucking retaliation. I gave you the Israeli retaliation in Palestine, or in the Palestinian-controlled part of the Gaza Strip, and closed out with the original Israel being really pissed off at 3 Israeli teenagers being kidnapped and murdered, possibly by Hamas. Can we not fuck around with this part of the world anymore? Can we just not fuck around? Do whatever you want. Either go in there and kidnap all the Israelis or all the Palestinians. I mean, kidnap the Israelis and move them to another part of the desert. They'll make good there. But kidnap one of them, completely displace them, move them around, build another Gaza Strip, build Gaza West somewhere in another part of the desert of the Sahara or wherever, of the Middle East. There's plenty of desert out there. Just build something, build another Gaza Strip, build another West Bank or wherever, somewhere else, and move one of them there. Because these people won't stop fighting. And one of them is going to go nuclear. one of them is going to go nuclear somewhere, or one of them is going to drop, probably the Israelis. One of them is just gonna go crazy and start dropping serious ordnance on people. And that is going to completely fuck up the entire region and then the world, because then the Middle East goes, then Southern Asia goes, then or Western Asia or Southern Asia, and then Southeastern Asia gets involved, and China's involved, and then Japan's involved, and then pretty soon we're all fucked. Because I don't even know what these people are fighting about. Something to do with their imaginary man, or my imaginary man lived here. Well, my imaginary man lived here too, but my imaginary man is better than yours. And blah, 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 and now we're fighting, and now we're fighting. And Zionists here in America are like, yeah, go Israel, we got to save Israel. No, we're not funding any of this shit anymore. If I get elected, if I'm the king of the world, or king of America, we're not funding any of this shit anymore. No, Israeli defense industries, you are not allowed to completely replicate our military technology under license without for completely free and selling it on your own. No, because by the way, Israel fucks with us too when they start selling designs to China and Russia and all these people that we're not exactly on terms with. And Israel is just like, yeah, fuck you, we're Israel. What are you going to do? You'll come back again, and we always do. Because of the Israeli transplants and people that are tied to Israel, because despite never ever being there, they believe in the same invisible man, and they say, yeah, fund Israel, we gotta help them out. Blah, blah. And we're funding this. We are tacitly supporting this kind of shit on both sides. Supporting Palestine, or supporting Israel and pissing off Palestine, or not supporting Israel and pissing off Israel, so they go after Palestine because they feel like they're all alone. And it's just, stop it. Figure this, either we're going to fix it for you, or figure this shit out on your own. We're done helping you. Stop with this crazy shit. Stop kidnapping teenagers and murdering them because of your stupid centuries-long beef over what the fuck do you people even fight about anymore? What do you even care? It's like the Irish that are still really pissed off at the British. And I know some people are going to say, well, I fought for hundreds of years. And Look, here's the deal. I'll make it really simple for you. Here in America, we had a thing widespread, pretty bad, called slavery. And there are still people to this day, black people, even descended from slaves, who believe that they are entitled to reparations for things that happened centuries ago. 1.5 centuries ago, or 2 centuries ago, their great uncle on their mother's side was a slave for a while, and they're saying, yeah, we should be da-da-da-da-da. And I say, were you a slave? No. Do you know anybody who was a slave? No. Do you know anybody who knew anybody who was a slave? No. All right, then shut the fuck up. You are far enough removed from that, which is horrible to be sure. And the 40 acres and a mule was bullshit. And yeah, so I don't deny it. I don't deny that slavery was a black mark on the history of the United States of America, on the history of humanity. The idea of slavery in and of itself. Bad thing. Bad juju all around. I get that. You weren't a slave. Nobody you knew was a slave. Nobody you knew even knew anybody else who was a slave. Let's play the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon with slavery. And if you can't play it, then no. No reparations for you, because you're far enough removed that just shut up already. Because nothing harmful was done to you, at least on that regard. Now, if you want to say that, well, I'm being discriminated against, well, then yes, but that's a current thing. You're not entitled to reparations for something that you weren't even a sperm yet. You weren't even half a person in the form of a sperm in your dad's balls. So shut up. Same thing. Same thing for the Irish and the British. Same thing for the Palestinians and the Israelis. You just fucking stop. Stop. You didn't fight. You didn't know anybody who fought. You're just being pissed off because you're told to be pissed off, and you're fucking everything up, and you're killing innocent people. These teenagers are just probably wanting to go out and get drunk and get laid, find some nice Palestinian girls or some nice Israeli girls, whatever it is, because I'm sure that's a thrill fuck over there. And they just wanted to go out and have a good time, and they ended up fucking kidnapped and probably brutally murdered. All because you've been told since you were a child to be pissed off because our invisible man is greater than their invisible man. What the fuck? And people wonder, why do we think that religion is possibly such a bad thing for society? Because it leads us to do shit like this. Oh, and the foundation of that whole Irish-British thing, religion is the foundation. Then it turned into occupation and blah, blah, blah. But the catalyst originally, religion. It was just stop. Before you get all pissed off, before you start yelling at people, before you start building bombs or guns or whatever, ask yourself, wait a minute, what the fuck? What am I fighting for? What am I supposed to be pissed off about? What has been done to me? Have I been persecuted by the British? Have Protestants been evil towards me? Have I been, I don't know, whatever it is that Israel and Palestine have been pissed off about? It's been going on for quite a long time. Has any of that happened to me? I just want to go out and have fun at the clubs, man, at the discotecas. And I don't want to have some guy walk in with C4 strapped to his chest to ruin my night. That's a buzzkill. And I'm sure that guy doesn't even know why. He's just been brainwashed and indoctrinated, equal parts religion and equal parts just nationalistic history, to do crazy shit. And we wonder why, hey, maybe this whole religion thing can make people do stupid, crazy shit. Just maybe. And of course, there are other ways to get people to do stupid, crazy shit. Nationalism is one. We do it here in America. I'm a hero. Oh, you're a hero? What do you do? Well, I fly drone strikes. Oh, so you fly drone strikes? Have you ever killed innocent people? Well, sometimes there is collateral damage. But God bless America, I'm a hero. Oh, so you're a hero because you fly drones from an air-conditioned track unit and you drop bombs on innocent people because you got one guy that maybe is part of Al-Qaeda. I mean, his family and his cousins who are just trying to enjoy the wedding and let their hair down for a while because, God, this fucking insurgency, man, it's awful. Let's just go to a wedding and have a good time. Don't bring work to the wedding. You say, okay. Let's just go to the wedding and have a good time. Oh, shit, there's a drone strike and now we're all dead. Hero. God bless America. There are other ways to get crazy people to do crazy shit and to do heinous crimes. Religion is one of them. It's not the only one, but it's a big one. And people wonder, again, why, hey, hold on, maybe we shouldn't have religious states. Maybe we shouldn't be this religious. Maybe we shouldn't put this much, if you'll pardon the pun here, maybe we shouldn't put this much faith in religion. Because look at what other people do with religion. Look at what people have done with religion since the dawn of man. Since the dawn of religion, look at what other people who are probably not devout have gotten other people to do by leveraging their invisible man and their beliefs and the promise of an afterlife or the threat of a pretty negative afterlife. Maybe we should just, as a society as a whole on Earth, say, all right, well, religion kind of got us there, got us to where we are, to a place where we can, I don't know, maybe kind of escape it. Now maybe we should jettison the religious module now. The SS Humanity is now a spaceship. It was a ship before, now it's a spaceship. And we had this religious module that we all kind of got into for a bit to hang out. And that's been exhausted. We've now learned how to create other modules, and there are many more other modules that we have discovered as part of our spaceship, and we're going to go into those now. And we can now jettison the religious module, because while it did a few good things, it's also done a shitload of bad. And it also results currently in modern times in a whole lot of bad. Not the religious universities and blah, 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 blah. Now, teenagers in the West Bank are being kidnapped and murdered in part because of a religious dispute, a religious war that's been waging for centuries, possibly even millennia. We're done with that. We're good. We're good on the religious front. I think it's time that the SS Human Experience jettison the religious module. You've served us well for a couple centuries, for a couple centuries. You served us well. I think it's time to move on. All right, let's bring it home. Woo! Another great episode of The Lefty Show. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for joining me. I had a great time putting on the show. I hope you had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show in its YouTube formation. You can also find gaming and vlogging content there. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing the show, and thank you to everybody finding a friend and sharing the show with them, which is much easier now because we've got an RSS feed, leftyshow.podbean.com, or just go to your Android podcasting app of choice and search The Lefty Show, or just go to the iTunes store and there search The Lefty Show. Be sure to subscribe to the RSS feed there, iTunes, The Lefty Show, and leave a rating on the show there. Follow me on Twitter at Lefty643. Stay up to date on all the latest and greatest Lefty Show news, as well as musings in between shows. Thank you to everybody that's been donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions is where you go. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Bye. Hello there.